What's going on, everybody? This is Kerry Wood, sportsandswag.com. It is another edition of the Sports and Swag podcast, the Game 7 edition at that. The Washington Wizards, Boston Celtics going at it tonight. The Leprechauns, man, in Boston Garden getting it done again. Getting it done again with Isaiah Thomas leading the way. 29 huge points, 12 huge assists. Unstoppable. Making the right plays at the right time, Isaiah Thomas. When the Wizards, their strategy, of course, the last few games has been to trap him, get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. And to some degree it's worked, but it didn't work enough. And it definitely didn't work tonight. Isaiah Thomas not forcing the action, not forcing his shot, taking the right play, making the right play, getting the ball to, of all guys, of all the guys to come out and star and just put it down in Game 7. Kelly Olynyk. That's right, Kelly Olynyk, the Gonzaga Zag. The big guy out of Gonzaga having 26 points tonight. Mostly set up by Isaiah, like I said. Fantastic game for him to step up and do what he had to do. He needed just about every one of them, too, because Bradley Beal was unbelievable, unstoppable. So much so that Bradley Beal is, I can see it now, you're going to see a lot of people saying Bradley Beal is the better player than John Wall. I don't know, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think Bradley Beal is better than John Wall? I don't know. Overall, I'd have to give it to John Wall because of his ball handling ability. I think he's a little bit better defender overall than Bradley Beal, so I'd have to still say John Wall myself. But you can't argue, man, with who stood up tonight, at least in the fourth quarter anyway. Bradley Beal kept the Washington Wizards alive in that game. He was the heartbeat of that team tonight. I mean, John Wall did nothing in the fourth quarter. Did not score a point. Did not score a point. He did have 18 points in the game. Had 11 assists, which is good. 8 of 23 shooting. I mean, about 35%. 1 for 8 from 3. Not the game John Wall wanted to have. Of course, played 44 minutes, so you're going to see a lot of talk about that. You're going to see a lot of talk about that, but then again, Bradley Beal played 46 minutes. Didn't seem to harm him too much there at the end of that game. Bradley Beal he was still firing it up in the fourth quarter. 46 minutes, but that's what Game 7's are all about. You know, I already been hearing the John Wall was tired and, you know, worn out at the end of the game. That's why he couldn't finish it. I mean, these excuses need to be. You just need to leave the excuses alone for these ball players, man. I'm sorry. I mean, again, 44 minutes is a lot of minutes, you know, out of 48. So that was only 4 minutes John Wall didn't play. Bradley Beal was only out of the game for 2 minutes. Come on, man. It's one game play. I mean, this is one game to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. You gotta suck it up, man. You gotta come out and you gotta deliver. I don't know, these players today, they get a pass for, not doing that. We had people defending James Harden the other night for that pathetic performance that he put on. Now we're hearing John Wall 44 minutes. I mean, like I said, a lot of minutes, but again, you got to step it up, man. You got to step it up, and you want to make the money. You want to be called one of the best point guards, if not the best point guard in the game. You got to play like it. Not to say he had a bad game, but you got to deliver it in the crunch. You can't just say, well, okay, I'm going to deliver for 3 quarters and that's enough. No, you got to deliver it when the game is on the line. And this is the reason why I just did not see the Wizards winning game 7 in Boston to start this series. I called this series Boston win it in the 7 in my preview of this series earlier when the series first started, and the Celtics came through because, again, the Celtics are not as talented. When you look at Isaiah Thomas, I mean, there's a big drop-off. There's a big drop-off to whomever you think may be the second best player on the team, whether that be Al Horford or whether that be Avery Bradley or whoever, or Jay Crowder, or some people might think him. There's a big drop-off from Isaiah Thomas. There's no question about that. When you look at John Wall and Bradley Beal and Marcin Gortat and Morris and Otto Porter, the Wizards are, no question, the more talented team. But what it comes down to in the playoffs, and we've talked about it again, when I talked about this thing a couple weeks ago, one of the first podcasts we had here on Sports and Swag, we talked about mental toughness. We talked about teams that have that high IQ, that high basketball IQ. Boston Celtics have that. Brad Stevens has that. That guy is proving just how good of a coach he is, man. I mean, he has made that jump, and we talked about him a couple weeks ago as well. He has made that jump from Butler in college to Boston in the NBA, and it has been a smooth transition. And he's just in 3 years, he's got his team in the Eastern Conference Finals. Got them in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're about to go face LeBron, see what they can do with the Cavaliers. Man, Boston has. If you want to really start to break this thing down for the Celtics, man, I mean, this is a humongous week for them. They take down Washington. They're going to be playing Wednesday night, hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, that crew. But tomorrow night, they're going to be glued to the TV sets again during the NBA draft lottery that's going to go down tomorrow night. I'm not sure if it's before the Spurs and Warriors game or at halftime. More than likely it's before. But the Boston fans, the organization, they're going to be glued. They're going to have a shot to get the number 1 pick in the NBA draft coming up here in June. I don't know if they're going to get the number 1 pick, but they've got a really good shot to get a top 5 or top 4 pick. And then with this draft being deep, man, I mean, think of what they can get out of that. That pick coming to them by trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Man, I mean, you're talking about a franchise-changing moment for Boston. I mean, not to say they haven't been doing well here this last season. They got the number 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference, but this is a time where this thing works out for them. Really, almost no matter what happens to them against Cleveland. I'm not going to make my prediction right now, but no matter what happens to them in these Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavaliers, I mean, you look at this team in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then with a top 5 pick coming into next season, this franchise is going to be something to deal with. They are going to be something to deal with regardless of what happens over the next couple of weeks against LeBron and the Cavaliers. On the other end of the spectrum, the Washington Wizards, well, I mean, they're still going to have Bradley Beal. They're still going to have John Wall. They'll be okay, but, I mean, when are they going to get that mental toughness about them to be able to finish a game on the road and win a series like this? Because if you think back, just think back how big, how huge those double-digit leads look now, those blown double-digit leads look now that they had in Boston in the first 2 games of this series. Just look back and think about, if they had held on to just one of them, they win this series, and now they're playing Cleveland. Didn't happen that way because they could not close out those 2 games. And then the same thing happened tonight. In the game, their late third quarter, had the lead there a couple points, had a 6-point lead there earlier in the quarter. Couldn't finish it off. And that again, that's what I'm talking about. Mental toughness and that high IQ basketball that, the Boston Celtics are just better than them at it right now. And again, that gets me thinking about people really thinking Washington had the better shot against Cleveland. I just don't agree with that. Again, we talked about the talent of the Wizards. I mean, there's no question that John Wall, there's no questioning his talent. There's no questioning the talent of Bradley Beal. There's no questioning what Marcin Gortat can do for you. But then again, we look at Marcin Gortat tonight. Marcin Gortat, pulling up my stats here as I talk, 6 points in 33 minutes. Not going to get it done, man. Not going to get it done. Of course, Marcin Gortat gives them a lot more than points. But, you gotta be better than that. You gotta be better than that. So, but I mean, you look at Otto Porters, you look at Morris, small forward, Markieff Morris. He had 18 points tonight. Porter had 20 points tonight. This is a very talented ball club, but something's missing. And despite them being more talented than Boston, I think Boston has a little bit more of that mental toughness is going to help them. I don't know if they can win the series against Cleveland. Like I said, I'm going to leave that to my preview tomorrow. You'll see it on sportsandswag.com. Be on the lookout for it. Not sure. I mean, I'm not going to give away who I think is going to win this series. I'm not going to give away how long it's going to go. But I think it's going to be a lot more interesting series than a lot of people are going to give it credit for. We'll see what happens. I mean, again, Boston, didn't have a whole lot of success against Cleveland this year. Well, they did have the shot they're late in the season to get them on that third. I think it was a Wednesday night. I think the week before the season ended, and Cleveland came into Boston and just laid it on them. That's the lasting impression right there. But I don't know. Something tells me this series might be a little bit different from that. So again, while I'm not going to give away who I think is going to win this series, my preview will be out tomorrow evening, I'd say, and definitely check it out. It'll be on sportsandswag.com, of course. So on the other end, it's back to the drawing board for the Wizards. I don't know. Did John Wall choke tonight? Or was he tired? Bradley Beal, the better player. Bradley Beal got his money. Now John Wall is looking to get his. I don't know, man. Again, like I say, for my money, John Wall's still the better player, but that's going to be, you're going to see some people debating about that tomorrow. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I don't know. See what happens. But again, Wednesday night, it all goes down with the Cleveland Cavaliers coming to Boston. They've been off for about, I don't know how long Cleveland's been off. It seems like about 2 months. Could they have that same rust that the Golden State Warriors had on yesterday that got them down by 25 points? I think it's quite possible. You can very easily see the Cavaliers come in lackadaisical. It would not shock me at all to see Boston win Game 1. It would not shock me at all. One thing about it, Sports and Swag is going to be here to talk about it. You can bet the farm on that. We'll be right here, and we hope to see you right here as well. I want to thank you for listening tonight. The Game 7 edition of Sports and Swag podcast, man. Again, it was a really good Game 7, very entertaining, really enjoyable. Had just about everything a Game 7 should have. Did not disappoint. But again, got 2 more rounds to go, man. Well, gotta see who, not sure if Kawhi Leonard is going to play tomorrow night for the San Antonio Spurs. Probably not. We'll see what San Antonio can do. Can they get even tomorrow night? And then, of course, Wednesday, we'll get ready for the Eastern Conference Finals to get off. Again, my name is Kerry Wood. I want to thank you for listening to Sports and Swag Podcast. Check out the website, sportsandswag.com. Follow me on Twitter, at Sports and Swag. My personal one is at Mr. That's at MR_Sports and Swag. Like the Facebook page. Check us out on Google Plus. I know Google Plus is not necessarily the number one social media outlet out there, but check it out. A lot of good stuff on there as well. Check us out on SoundCloud. If you're not going to, again, as soon as I get done with this podcast, it's going to go up on SoundCloud. YouTube. We everywhere, man. Sports and Swag is everywhere, so just check us out. I know you'll enjoy it. And again, like I say, I really appreciate you listening in. Enjoy the games tomorrow night. We'll be back talking about the Spurs and Warriors tomorrow night. Have a good one. I'm out.